Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we give you 2 to 3 interesting tech stories in the news, send you on your way with something fun from the library, get you all caught up in about 20 minutes for your week. As always, if you have any ideas that you want us to share, Creation Station at broward.org comes directly to me. And today, my guest host is Joe from Business Services. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thanks, Bob. I'm very happy to be here today to share some opinions on interesting tech topics.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We got some really cool stories. So, really quick, we're going to come back to it at the end also. Tell everybody, what do you actually do? Because you're one of those behind the scenes people that the library would not function with if you weren't here.
Okay, we're the business services department, and we're like in the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. What we do is we take care of all the business aspects. The contracts, the grants, the payrolls, the budgets. Those are big parts of everything that we do. So we keep everything running behind the scenes. And the operations people are the people that everyone sees in the libraries. And we make sure that they function and they can do their jobs appropriately.
How's the staff recovered from Kronos?
We actually, my staff did an excellent job with that.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
Everybody pitched in. Everyone did a great job. We finally came back. We tested everything, and everything seems to be working okay. And everyone got paid.
Excellent.
That was the key thing.
Excellent. There we go. There we go. Everybody got paid. There you go. In case anybody hasn't been paying attention to the news, we talked about it a few weeks ago with the Kronos hack and everything breaking down. That's not a story for this week, though. Let's talk about what we actually have out there for today's stories. And the first one is electric sheep. And I know that's a take on a Philip Dick. Don't worry, we know this, Philip K. Dick stories. However, and you probably have seen a bunch of other robotic lawnmower things. iRobot's got their own. A couple of other companies that make them that you just leave outside and do. This one's different because you take an existing regular standing lawnmower like any landscaping company uses, and then you bolt this onto it so that you can then turn your existing gear into robotic lawnmowers. What do
I
you
mean,
think, Joe? Do you think we're going too far?
no, actually, I kind of wish I had one of these when I had my house up in Boston because we had a huge lawn in the back. And from what I understand with this is all you do is you keep going back and forth on a certain pattern, and the robotics understands that pattern, and
Yep.
they'll do it the same way.
Yeah, it's you just go teach it where and how you like your lawn mowed, and it goes and it does it. It's a crazy idea. I mean, for landscaping companies, this could be a huge find because I mean, just like everybody else is out there, struggling to hire people. There you go. You can get one of these things and take care of golf courses, etc., and all those things. It would be really an amazing thing to take off like that. I'm
And
still kind of wondering. Yeah, tell me.
I like the fact that you can set it up on any type of lawnmower. It doesn't have to be a special type of lawnmower that comes with
Yeah.
this all, programmed into it. You can program your own lawnmowers with this attachment that goes on it.
Yeah, and that's that with like John Deere and people like that. They sell those, $400,000 robotic lawnmowers, and it's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen for most people out there in the world. They just can't afford to do that kind of stuff. And you can actually just rent this thing. You don't even have to buy it. You
That is true.
just, yeah. I mean, you're basically leasing the robot for a while, and for as long as your company needs or wants it, then you send it back. Get the new upgraded model a couple years down the road, just like we do with vehicle cars now, right?
That sounds good to me. It's like I said, I
Yeah.
wish I had one of these back when I was in Boston.
Yeah, it's I think it's really coming off good. And I think you pair this up with a newer electric lawnmower and you could really, save the environment and do some really nice fun things with it. It'd be interesting.
Definitely. And as you
Oh,
said, for people that are working on golf courses, I mean, you've got large areas, and this would be perfect for something like
yeah.
that.
It'd just be crazy. And let's just hope that they're not waking you up in the middle of the night with their robots going out there and mowing the lawns. One of our other stories. How often do you wake up in the middle of the night, Joe?
Um, Usually depends upon maybe once or twice if I wake, if that happens. I wake
I
up during the night.
I wake up in the middle of the night a good 4 or 5 nights a week, probably. And it's just the restlessness. It's just like, okay, I went to sleep. I'm feeling good. And I just wake up and I'm kind of like, huh. And I've got my Kindle next to me because I don't want any blue screen light or anything around as I'm reading and doing stuff, or I'll listen to a meditation to get back to bed. And now there's a little debate about this, whether you should be sleeping in one huge, long 8-hour chunk or should it be broken up into some spots. So this article out here is talking about the idea that there is some research that shows in medieval Europe in particular, but it's also in some other societies. There was a first sleep and a second sleep where people would get up and move around and do, um, primarily, especially with churches, going out to pray and things like that in the middle of the night. And I was like, huh, maybe that's, is it, are we just destined towards that or not? Is this just a human reaction idea, or what do you think? Do you think this is just ingrained, or do you think it's we are got too much stimuli where it's making us wake up in the middle of the night?
Well, when I was reading the article about it, it basically talked about prior to the industrial age, that's what people did. They went to
Yeah.
sleep, they would get up in the middle of the night, they would do something, and as you said, they would either go pray or they would go do something around the house, and then they would come back and they would sleep again. But then we got into the industrial age. I think people are out there working so hard during the day, they just were transitioned where get a good night's sleep because you got to work again tomorrow. And so they started doing that. But I think it's, as what's on our minds now, there's so much pressure on people these days with everything that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
People go to bed with things on their mind, and subconsciously they're thinking about these things. And that's what I think causes people to wake up because they might, something could click where they just wake up about it. I know myself, what I'll do is I'll get up and I'll take a drink of water. I'll put some water on my face or something like that. I'll just take a walk, take a look outside, and then I'll go back and try to fall back to sleep again.
Yeah. The looking outside, I saw a shooting star, a meteor, a couple nights ago when I did that. When I woke up in the middle of the night, just happened to look out and bam, I was like, wow, that was luck. Um, but and yeah, and it was one of the ideas, and the reason why we made this story made is just because it's this. How does our technology affect us? Like I wear a watch to track my sleep and all my other things like that, and it says that I'm sleeping just fine. It doesn't even notice that I wake up sometimes because I'm just lying so still in bed, and I just feel like, okay, I'm awake. What am I doing? And it's one of those ideas that we all just need to get some better sleep, I think. And it's how does it work for you is the better way. Is it better to do two sleeps? Is it better to do one long sleep? I think you're on it there, Joe, about we're all just anxious about things right now. And that's why we're reverting back to this two sleep thing.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the key because everybody has so much on their mind and on their plate these days that they just, it just triggers something during the middle of the night where you're going to wake up and you because you're thinking about something maybe you're going to do the next day or something that happened the day before and it's on your mind or something that you saw on the news. It could be
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, and I think that this is as always, we'll put these in the show notes. So go and read this. And in this article, there's links to other studies about this because this is not a settled science at all, as if anybody could guess sleep was mysterious. Um, are you someone who keeps a notebook by the bed for dreams or things like that, Joe?
No, I don't do that.
Yeah, I've never done that either. I know some people have done who really swear by that idea. They've got something on their mind. All of a sudden, they wake up and they jot down exactly whatever it is. I guess maybe
I've done that.
yeah,
Where I've gotten up and walked out into the kitchen and wrote something down because I thought about it and I said I don't want to forget. So I leave a note, but I mean it's not something I do on a regular basis.
nice. Yeah, I do so much digital. I don't want my to turn my phone on to take my notes. So I think I lose out a little bit on that. Maybe I should go back to paper and pencil for a couple of things, huh? It just might. But it is one of those things. So if you do wake up in the middle of the night and it's just a normal, natural part of your rhythm, go for it. That's the effect of this article. And if you sleep all night long and you're not feeling quite rested in the morning, then you might have some other issues and you should talk to a doctor about that. Um, our last story of the day is so library oriented. We don't even need another fun, cool thing. Um, Book Riot, which is, if you're not familiar with, is a website out there that just talks about books and libraries and bookstores and stuff like that. And it really tries to link up people to hook them with what you should be reading next, sort of thing. They put together a list to start the year for books to help you be a better digital citizen. Everything from children's books to adult books, ideas for how to help you live a better life online. Like we've been talking for months, for years, the digital world is the real world. It's you're not hiding someplace else. It's virtual reality is reality, so to speak. Which books of these spoke out to you there, Joe?
There were a couple that spoke out to me. The first one was about, it said, hello, hello. And it was basically balancing your online life with your offline life to make sure that you're not spending too much time online, whether you're going on the computer and whatever you're doing, playing games or doing anything on the computer, because there's a whole world out there and you got to
Yeah.
live your life and you can't live your life, stuck to a computer all day. So it talks about balancing your life. And that one stuck out because I think
Yeah.
that's very important these days because we are at work, we're on the computers. We're driving, we're listening to, that we got the radio, but we have our computer telling us where to go for
Mhm.
directions. We get home, a lot of people, the first thing they do, they jump on the computer and check emails, and then they start, going through, they surf in the net to see what's going on. We spend too much time. We need to get out and start enjoying outside again.
Yeah, and that is, I was out the out back. We've got a little fire pit out back. I've been out there the last few nights. That it's finally warmed up enough to use the fire pit. I know I'm a little bit different than most people out there. I don't want it to be too cold while I'm outside enjoying it. I want it to be cool but not cold. Um, but I'm one of the people who like just puts on music in the background or does something like that. I'll have my Echo play, like a surf, a fire or a surf in the background as I'm decompressing after the day and working around and making dinner and stuff like that. So yeah, and those. One of the ones that really caught my eye was this Algorithms of Oppression, because it really talks well about how if you just allow the machines to do whatever you want them to do without you paying attention to it, you're going to be led in a direction, whether intentionally or unintentionally, towards your own biases. And you need to pay attention to that kind of stuff. And you need to actually stop and think about, why am I looking at this? Where am I going with this idea and stuff like that? And we actually talked about that on the monthly show last spring. And I'll bring up a link. By the way, of course, all these books are in your library for free. I'm not telling you to go out and buy any books. If you want to, great. But if you want to just check them out from the library, we've got them in both dead tree form and in ebook form right there for you on the library website. 4 of them in dead tree form available and 1 on ebook still available right now as of the time I'm recording this. So feel free to come jump in. And we also did shows on this. So we did our Creation Station monthly show back in April, and we did one on artificial intelligence to pair up along with some of these other books about what this world's going to look like in 10 years, 20 years of having artificial intelligence helping us in doing these things. So feel free to go explore. If the link to those shows is all on the same page that you came to register for this class. So don't worry about that. What are you interested in, Joe, about trying to learn more about how we're interacting with the future?
Um, it's just there's a lot of things you can look at is how we're interacting, and it's a lot of times we're getting more and more um, tech oriented in everything we're doing, and it's just something that, as I said, going back to that other book, is we just got to like find that good mix, a good balance.
Mm-hmm. I think it is. I think that that's one of our real key things is being able to, like you said, if we can balance each other out and working and talking with people. And I count that online also. It's, you can't be talking in your same bubble chamber just to your 2 or 3 friends that you always talk to. You've got to broaden your horizons, join a Discord group that's going to challenge your thought process, or read or do something else. I agree with you, Joe. I grab my Kindle, I go sit out back and I go just listen to the wind or listen to the birds or do whatever. Riding the bicycle.
Well, you know what it's too, Bob? If you listen to someone else's perspective and you start, you get to understand where they're coming from, and that kind of
Yep.
helps you out because we all sometimes we walk around with blinders on. We see things our way. To understand and take the time to actually listen to what somebody else is saying, and see some of the things that they see or some of the things that they're looking at, and it helps you out because it just makes you understand the whole picture and not just what we think everything was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe, I'm going to challenge you. Do you think there's a good Yankees opinion out there?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Do you think there's a good opinion about the Yankees out there?
The Yankees. Here from Boston, I got to tell you, that is a love-hate relationship,
Oh,
but it's
I know.
the best rivalry in sports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so much fun.
But I
It's
got, I
just
got one
going
other
on and
thing.
going on. Tell me.
One other quick thing I wanted to talk about was one of the other books that caught my eye in the digital
Yeah.
citizenship, and it was the one. It's called, I believe, Happily Ever After, and it deals with about it starts off with it's a children's book, and it's about Little Red Riding Hood, and it goes into depth with kids about the dangers of being online and what's out there online. It's done in a
Yes.
nice way, and I think parents need to sit down with their children and let them know that there are people out there that are bad people, that they're online, and you got to be careful on what you say and what you do online and what you post, because there's people out there, and then when we all know them, they're predators, and people got to be careful, and
Yep.
parents have to help their kids, and I think that's a
Bringing
very
bringing
good
that
one.
up for you right now, so everybody can see what that story is. Once upon a time, happily ever after is only a click away. Yeah, I agree with you, Joe, on that one. And I'll add on to that, when your kids are at home, using the VR gear. One of the things I'm always talking about, using virtual reality and augmented reality. You know, check on what they're using, check on what they're doing. You can mirror all those headsets to a TV, so you can see exactly what they're accessing and what they're playing and what they're doing and who they're talking to. It it's that very immediate thing of talking. And you're right. You need to know what they're doing, give them space as they're growing up to learn how to explore their things, but still be there with that cautionary bit to help protect them and help them learn. That's why we do these books, right?
That's it.
That's what you come out here for. So thank you so much we just flew right by, didn't it, Joe? Right there.
Time
Is that
definitely flew
amazing how
by.
much time that just goes so fast with us? What's going on with you guys? What do we got going on? Anything cool and special happening for the library system coming up?
We're right. Well, in our end, in business services, we're in the budget cycle right now. So we're working on the capital budget, which we're finishing up. That'll be taken care of and submitted by the end of next week. And then following that, we jump into our operations budget. So we'll be working
Yeah.
on next year's fiscal 20. It'll be actually fiscal 24's budget. So
Yeah, I know you live in a different world because you're living a year ahead of everybody.
right. But
Well,
it's good.
thank you
As
again.
far as
Yeah.
the library, we're working with our collections department and purchasing to streamline some of the processes where we can bring better materials into the libraries for people, and things that people are looking for, things that people, we value their opinion on really what they want to have in the libraries.
Yeah, it's been really good. It has been. And things seem to be going real from my point of view on the outside, it all looks like we're moving along pretty well. So thank you for that, sir.
Well, thank
Let's
you.
throw up our let's throw up our final slide here for everybody. Um, Thank you guys all. Thank you very much, Joe, for being here for Tech Talk Weekly. And thank you for everybody here. After I go offline, I'll answer a couple of those questions in the chat. Uh, if you have a special guest or you want to see a particular library featured on us, come email me, creationstation@broward.org, and we'll try and get them on. Everybody stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.